Hello, everyone, and welcome to an impromptu movie discussion. Joining me again for the first time in many, many months is Nicole of the Damned. We are thread buddies, I think is what I'd call it. But, you know, you've been kind of busy doing indie films and stuff. And we've had a good season for, like, horror. Not a lot of great horror movies, but we've consistently every month been getting fed, which is always nice.
It's been raining horror.
I know, and it's been beautiful. We've had some good ones, a couple of, but so maybe you were like me, like you saw Longlegs, correct?
Yes, I did.
And I was like, I liked Longlegs. Had a couple of faults here and there, but I was like, I'm interested in seeing what this guy does next. So like, oh, he's doing a Stephen King movie, and it's Monkey Shines.
Yeah. Is it Monkey? Okay, so is it? It's what is Monkey Shines? Because actually, like 3 people showed me the poster for Monkey Shines, and they're like, "Oh, that's the same poster as the monkey." But is it the same story? It's not.
No.
Research.
No. So they're both based loosely off a 20-page story by Stephen King in one of his, I forget which novella it was, with all the short stories.
Skeleton Crew, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, Osgood Perkins was like, oh, yeah, like, I literally went way off the cuff with this. He's like, I wanted a comedy.
All right. He was like, oh, okay, cool story, bro, but I'm going to do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah, and again, like, I saw the first trailer, I was like, okay, this is fucking gory. I'm in.
Yeah. Seemed like a good time.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the trailer and I'm like, all right, I know this isn't the monkey story. And then, you know, hearing all the shit that they couldn't have a monkey with symbols because Disney owns the copyright to it, which is insane that they can copyright a monkey with symbols.
Right. And then isn't it the whole reason that they had, because it was the monkey from Toy Story,
3.
Right?
Yeah.
3. And Disney's so petty. But yeah, isn't the whole reason why they put that monkey into? I don't remember anything about Toy Story 3, so I'm very sorry if there's any.
I've never watched it. I just read Wikipedia before we went on.
Okay, yeah, I'm like someone in here is going to be like a fan of Toy Story 3 and be like, you're such a loser, you don't know everything. But I remember briefly reading that the reason why they put that monkey in Toy Story 3 was because the director was like a Stephen King fan. So it's like the Spider-Mans pointing at each other.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my God.
I should like go back and look it up real quick. But anyway, keep talking and I'll report back.
So I'd say this movie has been moderately successful. It had an $11 million budget, and it's brought in $35 million.
Pretty good,
I mean, it's going full Friday the 13th, where it's like, oh, we did it on the cheap, and you know, it's gonna make its money back and plus some. So it's almost like the Blumhouse theory of like, oh, we're gonna make these dirt cheap movies, like Paranormal Activity, and we're just gonna keep throwing them out there until people get tired of them. And I think people finally got tired of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm wondering too if they filmed. I don't remember reading when they filmed the monkey, because the first thing that comes to my mind is like, well, Osgood Perkins is now like becoming more of a household name, I feel. So, you know, that him alone being attached to it also probably really, you know, helped bring in an audience.
Frank Darabont originally owned the rights and then lost them, and he started doing this movie in 2023. They announced it and then started filming during 2024.
Okay.
They knocked it out pretty quick, and of course it was filmed in Vancouver because cheap. And this, I remember, showed up in the after credits of, I can't remember if it was Cuckoo or Longlegs. I think it was the end of Longlegs. They showed the trailer after the credits for this.
Did they? I wonder if I had stayed for it. Probably not. I think I would have remembered it. I was just not the biggest fan of Longlegs, so I probably jetted out of the theater, honestly. But I
I
think
was intrigued, but at the same time, I think what really intrigued me was Nicolas Cage's acting and his choices he made. Because honestly, he was that movie.
oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he always brings something interesting to the table for sure. I think what really threw me off about Longlegs, this is so lame, but I hated his makeup. I hated the way they made him look. It was, like, not
The
creepy
albino pancake
and
music.
not yeah, it was like drinking a LaCroix or LaCroix, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's, like, a little bit of flavor in there, and you're like, "Yeah, I can't decide if it's creepy or if it's just, like, not good like, not good." Like, there's just
Yes.
something about it, it just, like, really bothered me, and that's almost like how I felt about the entire Monkey movie, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know, I wanted to like it more than I did, but I just, like I feel like it might age well, if that makes sense.
So what usually is a death sentence to me is when every character in the movie I hate and want to die.
Okay. You hated all of them?
Not since the Babadook have I had a movie where I just wanted
Um,
everyone to die.
yeah,
And
totally
the
agree
two
with that.
brothers, the two brothers were so unlikable. The only person I liked was their mother, Tatiana Maslany.
She was cool.
There
Yeah.
were some good gore scenes. Um, and again, it really straddles, and it can go wrong so many ways. Of when you try to inject too much humor into
Yes.
a horror movie, and when they are like bumping heads, because some of the kills they tried to get too cute with the humor, where I felt like it tried to be a Final Destination movie at times,
Mhm. Yeah, I could see that.
and all of them annoyed me. The person I loved the most was Adam Scott in the beginning,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
and they
he was great.
telegraph
'Cause he didn't
everything
know
was.
anything about anything yet either.
And the most questionable was why the fuck was Elijah Wood in this movie in
Oh, he was great.
that
Yeah.
weird fucking spiritual role of stealing your dad energy.
He does it so well that it really, like it felt like its own little, like, gem within the movie. I really enjoyed his performance in that part. Um, to go back to what you're saying about, like, injecting humor, um, yeah, I just, like the reason why it comes to mind when I say, like, I feel like it's a movie that might age better, like, people might enjoy it more over time, is because, like, if you think about the time period that it's coming out in, right? Like, everybody is so stressed out. Everybody kinda just, like, wants to relax, and I feel like this movie kinda, like it to a certain point, the humor was very good. Like, I thought some of the jokes were really funny. The part with the pastor, I like the
Oh my
babysitter
god. Well,
was
the realtor
hilarious.
probably was like
Oh,
the best
yeah.
one, and then his uncle, who also is like a
Oh, yeah.
stoner, when
That
he
was
gets
Osgood Perkins. Did you know that?
when he gets. No, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. That the Osgood Perkins played the uncle.
Because I think they had the funniest line that was like, we're gonna try to be the best parents we can, and yeah, to be honest, it's not gonna be very good.
Yeah, yeah. When they're, like, sitting on the steps.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so to go back to my point about, like, the aging thing, so I feel so again, like, the humor was very good, but there were just certain points where I was like, "They're shoving this down my throat." Like, they're trying to make me laugh, and they're trying not to keep it too serious, which later on, I had read something by that Osgood Perkins said about, like, the movie and, like, why he made it, which had to do with, both of his parents dying, he said in a an outrageous way, which I'm a huge fan of his dad, but I actually can't remember how he passed away. His
I
dad
don't
is Anthony
remember.
Perkins?
Yeah, yeah, no, I can't remember
Yeah.
because I don't remember it being
I was gonna
salacious
look
or
it up
anything.
before I came here, but I forgot. But basically he said that the whole reason why he made this movie was to like process and make light of like the fact that we're all going to die, right? And the part where the mom was in the cemetery with the twins, right? And I think it was the scene after the babysitter died and she's talking to them about death. And I
That
was
was
like,
my favorite fucking part of the Benihana. Like, it's,
oh,
you know it's
like
coming.
their favorite kill.
You know it's coming, but you're just like, all right, how is she gonna catch
Mhm.
fire? And when they're at
Oh,
the
for sure. No,
funeral, I think was the best part. Where he's like, how the fuck did they get her head back on? Like, it's
that kill kind of made me a little mad. I mean, it was funny and it worked, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know, the nitpicky person in me was like, man, like, there's no way he got her in one slice. Like,
oh never.
you met no resistance. He didn't even realize that he had done that, right? Because he's like standing there like this, and then you're just waiting like to see what actually had happened. So the way he did it and the way he was just standing there, like he didn't even realize he had done it. So it was cool, and I get it, and I think that
I looked it
it
up.
worked, but also I was like, kind
I
of
just looked it up.
okay. Oh wait, what did you look up? How
Tony Perkins.
Tony Perkins died? Okay.
This shit's wild.
I thought he died of a disease, but
Well,
anyway, okay.
it is, but it's just the way Wikipedia puts this. In 1970, Perkins decided to undergo conversion therapy. He then married Barry Berenson in 1973. Then he reprised his role in Psycho 2 and then Psycho 4. The third installment in Anthology earned him a Best Actor Saturn Award. His last film was In the Deep Woods, a television film broadcast a month after his death in September 1992 from AIDS-related causes.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I remember
The conversion therapy, though, is where I was like, oh.
Yeah, I knew about that because I read his autobiography, or not his autobiography, his biography in high school. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I gotta look up. I mean, I guess it is crazy. I'm not like trying to downplay
No, so to
the
me, it's just the way Wikipedia decided to word it, where it was just like, and then he went to conversion therapy,
yeah.
got married to
But
a
then
beard, and died of AIDS.
It's
By the
like
way, he was in
really
Psycho 4 and 2.
yeah, it's very like it's not spliced together.
It just missed Larry David at the end going,
and then you just, die. Yeah, exactly. That's a very like David way to put it together.
yeah, just like,
oh my God, that's horrible. We could say that now because it's because people can what do you call it? We could say that now because like we have it more under control, right? So people are staying alive.
This joke I just made, not trying to make it a joke, but that's the glibness of this fucking movie, where it is so glib that there is a scene near the end where the end is the most nihilistic ending, to the point where you literally have Death riding a pale horse down the road smoking.
I actually loved that shot. I thought it was
just, they're at the stoplight and he's just like, oh, all right, this is where we're at now. Cool.
So before I saw Longlegs, wait, what'd you say?
I was like, spoilers, sorry guys.
Oh, there's a old. It has nothing to do with the story. I don't think it did, right? But there's like a woman on a horse. Well, I guess no, it did because all right. I don't want to. Never mind. I'm like remembering what happened as I talk. But so I liked that a lot because I don't know if you've ever seen any other Osgood Perkins movies besides Longlegs and this one.
I did. I saw The Black Coat's Daughter, which I despised.
You didn't like it? Okay, so
it was long.
I've seen that.
The pacing was very slow. And I like The Witch, which is a slow movie, but whoa.
For some reason I was, why the reason why I was able to sit through that movie is because I watched it with a friend. So I was kind of forced to, which was nice because I did end up enjoying it a lot. But there's another one too that I haven't seen that I really want to. My friend was telling me, oh, you got to see this one. It's so good. I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. Have you ever heard of that one? Did you see it?
Yes.
And how is it?
To be honest, and I'm like nitpicky about pacing. Like if the pacing's bad on a movie, it will forever be ruined for me. And that one, the pacing was good. The story was okay. It was shot well. It was one of those, it didn't overwhelm me like woohoo, but it was decent.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the vibe. Well, so okay, I keep saying the vibe like I've seen the movie, but like that last shot in The Monkey of the woman riding the horse kind of gave me the vibe of like his older movies, and I think also about halfway through The Monkey, I don't know if I was tired or what, but it kind of started to lose me. I was kind of like, I don't like, you know how you were saying you just didn't like anybody.
So
I liked how.
Right until the hotel thing happened with the swimming
Exactly.
pool, and
That's
I
where
was like,
it's all downhill for me.
I right when that happened, I was like, you know what? All right, this character arc bullshit's over because I already hate them all. So I'm
I was like,
good.
I
And
appreciate what happens to any of these people.
that was such a shocking like death where I was like, I don't even know how that happens, but okay, like you have my attention again.
The hotel scene?
Yes, with the
I
pool.
loved that one. That was my favorite. That was my favorite one. It was good.
And so the very, very last shot of the movie when the school bus of cheerleaders,
It was okay.
it was just like a very fatalistic last shot where you're like, all right, I've already seen the horse. And then that happens. I was like, all right, like, and I have a very, very important question. Was Adam Scott their father that ran away too on top of the leather daddy cop guy, skater bro that took the monkey?
Oh, wait, was Adam Scott the
Both of
leather
their families'
dad?
dads?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I don't know. I loved him. I loved his part, the leather
Oh,
guy.
that whole thing in the pawn shop was
Campbell.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No. You do not want that hand to fall. Don't touch. And then it started going, and he got the flamethrower, and that's how you start the movie. I was like, cool.
That
All
was
right,
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
The beginning had me for sure like intrigued and like excited more because I don't even think I watched a trailer before going to see it. So but no, I was saying too, I really loved Rohan Campbell, I think is his name. The leather kid, the kid that like
Wait,
tries to steal it later. Wade,
wait,
was that
that's Rohan Campbell? I didn't realize who that was.
Campbell? Yeah.
Oh my god, he's
From Halloween.
Halloween Ends.
One of these.
I didn't realize he was Corey Cunningham.
Yes, Corey is his name in Halloween. Yeah. I love him. I don't know what it is.
Without his scarecrow mask, it was hard to tell who he was.
He was good. I liked him in Halloween Ends as well. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but
So I would have
had
liked that movie a lot more if Michael hadn't appeared, and it was just him being a copycat killer and the evil continuing instead of hobo Michael Myers, because then it just brought back the Rob Zombie flashbacks of die crap. And
I mean
there are parts of the movie I like.
They could have gotten away with it. They could have, if they went for it and they were like, we're just gonna have him be a copycat killer, it could have been good. But I feel like a lot of people would have complained.
They're going to complain no matter what. That's
true. This is true.
That's my thing. Especially Halloween fans. They will complain about anything and everything. I still believe in Buster.
30 years, get over it.
I still believe in Buster Rhymes.
I wanted to like that one so badly.
The movie entertains me because I don't take it seriously. Like, it's just so dumb I can laugh at it.
went in fully anticipating that reaction, and it's just was like, I don't know, not my cup of tea. I really thought it would be. I thought I would have loved that one, like, better than some of the other ones, and it just didn't happen for me. I don't know. Maybe it was, like, the time period I watched it.
It could be, because when I first watched it at the theater, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then, like we
That's
talked
even
about things aging better.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah. Well,
So I
that's
think,
just I saw it, like, 4 years ago only for the first time,
uh,
so that's why I was like, "Oh, man, this is supposed to be nostalgic for me, like, why don't I like it?" We're talking about Halloween Revelations.
Resurrection.
Right, for the people that weren't following, but yeah,
So
anyway.
this movie straddles the line because at certain points it wants to be like this weird fucking melodrama with the family shit, and I'm just like, nah, like you can't do this. Especially when one calls his brother, was it shithead or whatever, every time he fucking talks to him. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I ate the placenta when I came out of the womb. That's why I'm bigger." It's
Yeah, that was, like, really fucking dumb, but I guess that's what were they, like, 12 or something? That's a
yeah,
twelve-year-old.
something like that. One was 13 seconds older or some shit, and
You know what I didn't realize too until later? I don't know if it was because like I was also like really stoned when I saw this movie, but I didn't realize that the young versions and the older versions were all played, not all, but the two and two were played by the same
same
actor.
person. Yeah,
I couldn't really tell.
yeah. So I thought the older version did a good job of changing his voice to
Mhm.
be the two brothers. I mean, it was still pretty deep, but he put on a different affect when he was the evil brother.
Mhm. He looked
Um,
thinner. Did he not look thinner? Like honestly, I was like, how is I don't know. I thought the Bill was the bad brother, right? I thought
yes,
Yeah, I thought that, he looked like what's the guy's name? Justin Theroux. I knew it wasn't him,
yes.
but I thought it was him. And then the Hal, older Hal, I thought he looked like, oh, I mean, he was like a fucking Adonis to me. I don't know. I thought he was so hot, but, I don't really know who I thought he looked like. I just thought he looked amazing, and, that's the
Was
only
it when he
reason why
was?
I was, like, rooting for him towards the end too. I was like, "You're so hot."
Was it when he was covered in blood?
It was the whole time. Actually, you know what's funny is I saw it with a friend of mine, and he was like, "What did he say?" The first thing he said when we were talking about Hal later on was, "That guy was way too hot to be working in like a convenience store." That he said that was the most unrealistic part of the movie was that he ended up working
With
in a
the younger vaping boss who's back there.
It's like, come on, bro. You should have. I don't know. Could have done so many other things, but anyway, yeah. But
Yeah,
I did not know that they were the same actor.
I looked afterwards because he did just enough that like they did look alike, but I was like, well, maybe they found two actors that look pretty close to each other, and then I was like, oh, it's the same guy. Huh, son of a bitch.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I definitely thought they were like not related at all.
what was your favorite kill?
Oh, for sure the pool scene at the hotel. I just liked like you knew it was gonna happen, right? But it's just like one of those things that you just can't like anticipate the shock of seeing it, you know?
So
I
I
thought it
didn't
was
think they were going to explode. I thought they were just gonna like,
yeah, like
yeah.
yeah, like get shocked and die or whatever.
So the shotgun going off at the with the realtor, I liked,
Yeah.
but I think the hibachi one, the Benihana, might be my favorite just because it's the waiting for it to happen because you know it's going to happen.
Yeah. But the
But
how.
yeah, I could also say like pretty much the entire last 10 minutes of the movie when the monkey's just like doing a John Bonham solo.
You liked the way that well, I don't want to spoil it, but the main character that died at the end, did you like how he died?
It was interesting. I mean, everything was better than the B
Goodness.
kill.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little underwhelming, and also like I said, I really liked Rohan. I think that's how you say his name. Campbell's
Rohan
character.
Campbell.
Rohan Campbell. So I wanted more of him, and I was kind of like, oh, all right, killed off
But
a
also
character.
the effects of the bees in the face and everything. I was like, all right, this hit that
Yeah.
weird digital.
My friend looked at me during that part, and he was just like, "Can that really happen?" I was like, "I don't think so." It was, yeah. I feel like it could have been better.
I know you're stoned, but no.
Yeah, I was like, at least not like in that way. I feel like it would have been cooler if they had like wrapped around him or something. You know what I did like though, after they all like went in and then they were like kind of coming out like through the cheeks and stuff. I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. I liked
They
that
could have
part.
just gone like full Wicker Man with Nick Cage. Not the bees! Not the bees!
I don't remember. I watched the original like within the last few years, and I think I watched the Nick Cage version like right after it came out. So I don't really remember that part.
He's dressed as a bear and punches out Kathy Bates at one point during it.
Nice.
I think that's one of my favorite parts of that movie because when Nicolas Cage is completely unhinged.
It's him all the time, I guess, too, right?
He's in a movie called Bad Lieutenant 2, Port of Call, New Orleans, where he's hooked on painkillers. That's right after Hurricane Katrina, where he's having hallucinations from withdrawals and like iguanas are talking to him. It's
amazing.
Chef's kiss.
I have to watch that. I know I'm like pretty behind on my Nicolas Cage game, but he's an interesting one for sure. He only refers to himself as a thespian, which I love.
Oh, not the. Just call me the artist.
The artist. What was I going to say too about the monkey? Because we were talking about the deaths. Yeah, the death that I was saying I liked, the one with the hotel pool. I liked it. It reminded me of the kill in Terrifier 3 with the kid at the mall. Like,
oh yeah,
so absurd, you know, like I just enjoy the fact that, you know, there's nothing so brilliant about it. It's not like it's like the one aspect of the monkey from I'm going back to the monkey, the hotel kill scene. It's like the one aspect of it, like it didn't try too hard to be like
clever,
edgy, yeah, and clever. It was just like, we're gonna make
woke you up
simpler than you think. Yeah. And I just think it was like done very well, in my opinion.
I also love his reaction where he's just like,
yeah, he just like goes and like walks back in the hotel room and like sits on
grabs the pillow and he's just like,
I was like, maybe you should call the police or something.
I'm just here to go, wait, did we really like that movie now? Like, again, there's like parts I really like. Like for me, if I were gonna rate this out of 5, I'd say it's a solid 3. Like it was entertaining, but I can't say there was anything that like wowed me that I'm like, you have to go now. I think the last movie I kind of got like that was like horror related was probably Heretic.
Heretic?
Heretic, yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. I want to.
Because Hugh Grant, I was like, this motherfucker is so brilliant and makes me so uncomfortable just through dialogue. I was like, you have to watch this because, man, Hugh Grant's finally cool.
I heard he was very good.
He was. It gets a little too smart for its own good at the end.
Oh, okay.
Where you just sit there and go, I just sat through 2 hours for this. Can we just erase this part and have it end with a little bit of guessing?
Yeah. It could have done with like a nice ambiguous ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer when that happens, but
yeah, I mean, but I enjoyed, 3/4
it's
of the movie.
It's like a religious horror story, right? I think.
Yes and no. I'd say it's So these girls who are Church of Latter-day Saints go to this house to try and bring him into the, the good book. And then he starts, questioning their faith and their religion, and they end up becoming trapped in the house. And the whole time he's trying to convince them that what the true religion is.
Yeah, yeah, I had like kind of picked up on that, and that to me interests me a lot. So I do want to see it. I feel like I haven't. I think the monkey. The whole reason why um like asked like to do like more like podcasts and stuff is because I was like I am like behind on like everything that's coming out, so I knew this would like force me to go catch up on something.
That's kind of the same thing where I was like, all right, like I did, like tomorrow I'm after work, I'm gonna go see Mickey 17.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm curious. Because
Yeah,
like
I mean, and then
Rob
just going to
Pattinson's
the
gonna die
movies. Right.
repeatedly. I'm in.
Check it out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and just going to the movies is so nice, you know? Oh, I guess I saw the last, I was going to say, at first I thought the last movie I saw was Terrifier 3, but I think I had seen Nosferatu
Oh
in
yeah.
December. So that, I count that. So I feel like, okay, I have seen something, but no, but in general, like, yeah, I'm so behind. I didn't see Heretic. I want to see Companion. I heard that was good.
The trailer kind of spoils it.
I
So
don't
don't
even
watch the
think.
trailer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I saw like a full trailer.
Like
Um,
I've went and saw Nosferatu right after Christmas, and then I saw Hard Eyes, which was
oh yeah, I want to see that too.
interesting.
Looks
Like
fun.
it's good counter programming for Valentine's Day. Like
Well, that
someone's
yeah,
like, you know what's great? A rom-com and a slasher movie.
it's
With
like
a,
that in one movie. It's rom-com
yes.
slasher.
Yes, it's like a rom-com will they won't they with a slasher.
Oh, cool. I'm into that.
Yeah, so like it was a little all over the place. It's just sometimes it gets a little too whimsy.
Okay. Hmm.
So like
I'm
the
wondering if that
pacing
will make me like it more or less. I feel like it might make me like it more, but I'll report back.
has an awesome kill at the beginning to start the movie. So that like at least hooks you right at the beginning going, all right, like I'm in. And
It just
then
came out though, right, in February, so it's probably not in streaming yet.
it will be soon. It's
Yeah,
already like,
soon
oh no, it's
enough.
not out of the theaters, but I think the Blu-ray comes out next month or the month after. Like, so it's gonna be out quick.
Cool. Okay. I just got a Blu-ray player. I'm so happy. My boyfriend brought me one because I had this really I'm not really like a physical media person, but I had this DVD player that I got for like $10 at a thrift store, and it doesn't like fit the ratio of my TV, and
Oh,
it's so shitty. And then plus like I don't know, he was like trying to explain to me like the evolution of like DVD to Blu-ray to the other
4K.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And so, but I did notice that like a lot of movies that I had been wanting to see that are being produced like only through physical media or like whatever easier to find if you just buy the Blu-ray. I was like, oh, I can't watch them. And I did not even know. You would think I like lived under a rock. I did not even know that you could watch DVDs with Blu-ray. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they do both. And then the 4K players can do all three.
yes, yeah, I could have fooled me. I don't know, but I definitely have lived under a rock for like the last like 10 years or something. Yeah, you know, I have a kid, so it's just like
Yeah. So
I had no hobbies for a very long time. So
during COVID, I went like movie crazy. So I had all this extra money
shit.
from overtime and stuff, and now like I have 2 walls full of Blu-rays
Yeah,
and
you're
4Ks.
all chilling. Yeah. Oh wait, those are comic books behind you, not DVDs, right?
A little bit of
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
books, but I have my little horror stuff because Smile 2 is a movie that surprised me.
Oh yeah, I was actually just going to mention that because I saw the cover there. I watched that one as well, and yeah, I was very surprised. I mean, it wasn't really like a great movie, but
No, I didn't
97
love the
was
first one.
amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't like the first. I got through the first one and it was like fine. It was just fine.
Yeah.
Uh, but Yeah, Naomi Scott was so good. She was like
Yeah, for a
fucking
girl, I
killing it.
just learned who. So like, she was in that Power Rangers reboot I saw, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
really? Yeah.
that's the girl who was the Pink Ranger. And then I
She
was like,
actually was Princess Jasmine in the
yes, that
Disney
too.
live action, and that's all I saw the entire time. Like, yeah, watching Smile 2, I was just like, oh, Princess Jasmine's killing it.
And then The Substance I picked up, which of course had no digital copy with it, so that kind of irritated me. But great movie.
Yeah, that was
Great,
good. I really
great
enjoyed that.
physical horror movie because I wasn't expecting. I was like, Demi Moore in a was this horror movie, and I was like, oh, this
Oh,
is
she did
actually
good.
really good.
Yeah. The only thing that got me about The Substance, though, and like, it's not like a critique necessarily, but the entire time, all I could see, and I'm telling, like, if someone's watching this and like they know me, I'm sorry, like I beat this concept like a dead horse, but I could not unsee the influence of Requiem for a Dream in The Substance. It is so obvious and so prominent, and like I said, I don't really consider that to be like a critique, but it just distracted me. I was just like, oh my god, like
You start
Dennis
looking to
Quaid.
see if Aronofsky was involved.
I wonder what he had to say about it because I don't really like know how he is as a person if he's like vocal about things like that. But yeah, the whole time I was like, oh my god, Dennis Quaid's character is a complete ripoff of Christopher McDonald's. That's his name, right? Tappy Tibbins. This is like, if you remember Requiem, it's like the TV show that Ellen Burstyn always watches, the show on
Yeah,
TV. Yeah, and then
that's
the
a. I watched that movie once, and I just like could not bring myself to watch it again.
for some reason, I don't know what it is. I was very fixated on that film in high school, and I probably watched it like 30 times. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I did not think that was weird until a lot of people were like, I've only been able to only watch that movie one time.
Because it was like that movie and that movie Kids kind of were
Oh, yeah.
like a couple of years apart, and like were both horrible movies, like of like shit going on that like too close to real life.
Yeah. Kids
And
is good. I think I've only watched that like twice.
yeah, it's weirdly Darren Aronofsky's first movie, Pie. I watched a ton of times.
Oh
Is
yeah, I had that on cassette tape.
very like low budget, but super fascinating. And it had such a really good score to it, and he's always been good with his movies with the scores.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god. The my favorite is, well, the Requiem sound score, Clint Mansell. I don't know if he uses the same guy like in
Clint
multiple.
Mansell did Pie as well.
Yeah, he did. So I couldn't remember because, yeah, like I know that one's older. Um, and The Fountain.
Yes,
I still listen to the score from The Fountain sometimes.
when Darren Aronofsky's wife ran off with one of the stars.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. Rachel Weisz ran off with Daniel Craig.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I knew that Rachel Weisz and Darren Aronofsky were like a thing. And then
Oh
he
no, they were
also,
married.
oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I remember also he dated Jennifer Lawrence and she was in the Mother movie,
Oh,
but that was like 10 years later or something, I
I
think.
hated that Mother movie. Oh my god.
I,
Ugh.
I liked it. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't watch it again. It was long. And like,
It was
when you know who
charmingly
he is,
long.
you're like, yeah, it was very intriguing. And thought-provoking, as are many Darren Aronofsky films, but I probably wouldn't watch it again. I didn't love it that much.
Always beautifully shot though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love, it was how, oh my God, am I thinking the right person? Right? Javier Bardem was starring, is the guy in it, right? The husband, the father,
Yes, it was Javier Bardem.
right? Because I
Yeah.
love him. And then I was like, wait, am I confusing him with someone else? Yeah, he is amazing. I like have listened to him talk on podcasts like that have nothing to do with stuff I'm interested in, just to hear him talk because I just love his voice.
I mean, fuck, like No Country for Old Men. Just like every scene with him is just the best.
Yeah, they did. Didn't they do like some study or something that says he's like the most accurate depiction, or did the most accurate portrayal of like a sociopath or a psychopath or something like that?
Worked for me. I mean, he's no Christian Bale in the American
Well, yeah,
Psycho
that's yeah.
with his skincare routine and his business
Love it.
cards. Um, I'm trying to in my head think of another movie that's kind of got this like glib sense of humor that would be the same as the monkey that I could recommend to
Finale.
somebody.
Oh, that's a great question.
That's
So
not
that's one
called.
of the
It's
things
not
that's
called Evil Dead.
Oh, I was gonna say that, yeah, like it's because again, the whole injecting the humor up your ass in the monkey, it's like its own level, I think, in that regard. Because like, yeah, like Evil Dead 2 and
But it
Army of Darkness
works
are
though.
funny.
But they're
Yeah,
written to be.
yeah.
But they're like Army of Darkness was like, fuck it, we're making a comedy.
Yeah, they were like all hands on deck with that one. And
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say, like the whole part where Hal, when he grows up, ends up working in it was a convenience store, like a grocery store, whatever. It just
Grocery
reminded
store, I
me,
think.
yeah, it just reminded me of like Ash working at S Mart.
So that's what I thought. Like, I was waiting for like the end to them cut back to him back at the grocery store. It was like, I could have been king.
Oh, and I hated I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be like not realistic, but I hated the whole thing where he's like, I only see my son once a year. I'm like, what a fucking stupid thing to do. Like,
Yeah, because I'm
the
afraid
only
I'm
way
going to
I can
bring
think
death and
of it.
destruction. I'm like, in my
Like,
head, I'm going, it's been 25 years since that thing last appeared.
yeah, and like, I don't know, maybe because like I'm a mother and I like only
Telling
see.
his
I
son
mean, I
that
don't know. Maybe it
telling
reflects
his
my
son that he
husband's
was a
situation.
mistake.
I mean, it's like you might as well just fucking abandon them. Like,
Well,
it
that's when
just
she
doesn't
says like he's
stand.
going to be the father that you're not, and he's like,
Oh, right, right.
what the fuck? And he's like, I've already taken your energy, your parental energy. I'm just like, why is Elijah Wood doing this? He's a self-improving guru.
It I mean, like I said, I loved his performance so much that it like kind of like offset the absurdity and stupid not even absurdity, the stupidity of that idea that he like only sees his son once a year.
I
Um
love that he has the books with his picture all over the house. And
and
he's like,
wasn't it like he was like a dad coach or something, right? Like masculine fathering or something was like one
something
of his.
like that. Like, it was something weird. It was like a weird self-improvement thing. And then he's like, you got a jet ski douchebag. And I'm just like, God damn.
And then the best part was when he like takes the water bottle and he's like that big ass water bottle for like no
Yeah.
reason. Just I bet you like Elijah Wood just saw it there and was like, I'm gonna add this in.
I'm going to
I
eat this
feel like that was
shit out of this.
unscripted.
I'm going to chew this scenery like no other. Not since Gandalf and Lord of the Rings has there been a scene like this.
He's a great actor. I mean,
What was
just
was it
full of
Maniac?
ideas.
The remake of Maniac that he was in that I thought he was really good in.
Was he? Oh my god, I haven't seen it. I have to look it up now.
Yeah, they did a
Actually never
remake.
finished the whole original, I'm not gonna lie.
So I thought the remake was actually better
Really? Why?
because Elijah Wood was more relatable. He didn't look like Ron Jeremy out killing people.
Okay,
Like, because you picture someone
fair.
like Ron Jeremy killing people, not Elijah Wood just being creepy with a bunch of like mannequin heads and
Yeah.
hands and stuff. So like,
Oh, I found
I
it on Letterboxd.
I
Sorry,
liked
go on.
it. No, it's all right. You know, there was another. Oh, so a funny horror movie, Ready or Not.
Oh, is that okay? I have this terrible affliction where I can never remember if I've seen that one or You're Next. I think I've seen You're Next because that's like the less popular. That's the one with Ty West. I have to look
Yes.
it up, right?
Yes,
You're
it
Next is
is.
the one with Ty West. Yeah, I need to see Ready or Not. I've heard such good things about it, and for a while, I would tell people, "Oh yeah, I saw it, and I didn't really love it." And
So
then
I
I found
love
out
Your
it's not the same
Next.
movie.
Your Next I really like, but I love the final girl in that movie. She's probably my top 3.
Which one was she? See, I don't even. I didn't really care for it that much. I liked the beginning scene when they're all sitting at
She
the
killed
dinner
someone
table.
with a blender by shoving it on their head and like it going into
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think I do remember that.
grade A kill. Like she was awesome, and that like is the only horror movie she's ever done. And she's a
Right.
soap opera actress apparently in Australia.
She was
But
a rare gem.
she's top 3, like easily. Um, I'd
So,
say, yeah, I don't want to go my top final girls because that's a whole other category that I could go through.
whole other episode.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to think of like other like kind of funnier ones. I'm looking at my uh poster art thing I have over here of the Dolls movie. It's like the what is it, 1980?
I remember dolls.
Yeah, it was pretty funny in some parts, I thought. But it doesn't have that like self-aware type of humor, I think, that the monkey has. Or like not
Mm.
self-aware. There's like more, I guess, I don't know. Would you call the humor in the monkey self-aware or obnoxious? I don't know. Like
It's bordering
right.
because it's like glib, like what else can happen humor, and then it. I think it is a little self-aware, but it's again trying too hard to balance. Like it doesn't want to be one or the other,
Yeah,
and to its own detriment.
right. Yeah. And so for a little bit after I saw the movie, oh, and during, that like aspect of it pissed me off and it made me say like, yeah, I don't really care for that movie. Like I was maybe at a 2.5 out of 5. And then yeah, like I was saying earlier, like I read Osgood Perkins's comment that he had made about why he made it, and it was like a tribute to like the grief that he went through after both of his parents passed away in like messed up ways. And so it's like I get why he like made it a point to infuse so much humor in it, which like makes me
So I
maybe also
guarantee
go to 3 out of 5. But
I
yeah,
feel
just seeing all of it.
where he really injected into was the one brother saying, "I don't want to take off my suit because we're just gonna have to go to another funeral," and maybe that is a little
Yeah,
his own self-reflection.
yeah, like I don't know if like personally I'm just a little bit like okay, so I relate to this film because I too tend to like handle difficult topics or grief and whatever by like being detached and funny. Like that's my way of coping. But when I go and watch movies that like talk about these things, like I indulge in a little bit of like, you know, sadness, right? And so I kind of felt like I was like ready to go there on certain parts, like when he said that. And then when they were in the cemetery with the mom and she was saying like it's not a matter of when or why, or I forget what she said. She was like, it's a matter of like how you're gonna die. And I felt like that could have been like a little
Let's
bit more of
dance.
a serious moment. Yeah. And then she said something stupid. Is that what she said?
Yeah,
I don't remember what
let's
she said.
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was just
they
like,
went and started dancing, and I was just like, hmm.
I was like, bitch, like, no, they should have like just kind of like let that sink in and then like move to the next scene. So that was like my biggest beef, I think, with that film. But also, I did not direct it, so I
I
don't have a
feel
right
like
to make any choices.
I felt like they should have explored a little bit more about the dad too. Like I kept expecting the missing
Oh
dad all
yeah,
these years to all of a sudden pop in at the end, like, "Oh, you found my monkey."
yeah, that would
My
have been nice too.
my master plan this whole time is for you kids to start the apocalypse.
Yeah, like I got the monkey from. They kind of like mentioned where he got it from, right? Like when he was
in Africa.
in the war. Yeah, but like, yeah, they could have like done a whole, or not a whole,
Yeah,
but like a
because
little like
it was
thing on
an
the side.
organ grinder that will grind, or it's like life or something. It'll grind you up, and I was like, kid, I never would have taken that out of the box after reading that.
I would have, but
You little bastards.
it's me.
Yeah, again, like I like the movie. It was a nice like day off. I went to the theater at 10:30 in the morning, the very opening,
Oh yeah,
and
you
sat in
said
the
that.
theater by myself at the very back row with the speakers, and kind of tuned out from the world for a little bit, and then, you know, got a little annoyed with the characters. Then a human being exploded in front of me by jumping into a pool, and then I was back in it again. And then I kind of fell out of it, and then someone got shot in the face.
Did it happen
Uh,
before or after? It happened after the
the
pool?
pool was the first.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I thought it happened after. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was just a
The
weird
real
order of
time.
things, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to a funeral a week in this town." So,
So the
like,
monkey. Oh yeah, I kept like I can't I you ever like quote a reference from something in your head and you don't remember where the reference is from. So like before I saw the movie, for some reason I was like, the monkey. Like it's from something and I don't know what. And so like
oh,
every time I read like a blurb or whatever, like even seeing like the post that you made that we were going to be talking about it, I'm like, something in my head is like the monkey. Like I don't know what that's
now
from.
that you said it, I'm like, I've heard
It's
it
a
somewhere
monkey.
before, and I cannot for the life of.
Yeah, one day, one of us will hear it somewhere, and then we'll be like,
Now I'm gonna
oh.
be on like YouTube
And that's
later looking up people saying monkey clips in
I
movies.
thought about doing that, and then I was just like, I can't. Like, I am someone that would do that, but I feel like I just need to let it. I'm gonna like cast it out into the
And then
universe and
I'll
just let it come to me.
I love trying to look up clips from a movie that I don't remember anything of from 30 years ago that I can remember one spoken line
Mhm.
from that
Oh
I
yeah.
probably watched on like Up All Night on USA at one point and should have never been up watching.
Well, you know what? That happened to me. So I remember when I was like in seventh grade, okay, I was at my friend's house and I made some joke that she was like, thought it was so funny. And it was like, I would just keep saying, like, this is good chicken, mom. And that was a line. And I'm like, I don't know what this is from. And like every once in a while that comes into my head. And then maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I was rewatching Goosebumps. And there's the episode, I think it was Say Cheese and Die. And I don't know, one of the characters, it wasn't Ryan Gosling. It was like Ryan Gosling's brother. Cause I don't know if you remember, Ryan Gosling was in that episode. And yeah, I don't know. The brother was like, eating chicken. He's like, this is good chicken, ma. And it like my brain exploded. I like exploded like the pool scene in the monkey movie. I just was like, that's where that's from. It was so
So
crazy. I
my
definitely
sister
watched that in like 95.
my sister and I were huge horror fans, and my mom indulged with us. And we're at the dinner table, and do you ever see that movie Mother's Day?
Yes. Oh, I love that movie.
So the two brothers, Ike and I can't remember the other one's name, and they're like, "Punk sucks, disco stupid." My sister and I were doing that back and forth at the table, and Mom got so annoyed she came up behind me and fucking slapped me in the back of the head. She's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And then I was like, "Oh, you sound like the mother from Friday the 13th Part 5." The crazy mother. The it was like, how was it? She's like, eat my goo. Oh god, I can't remember what she was cooking up, but she like had the guy on the motorbike that she riding her around.
Did your
And
mom get mad again after you said that?
not really, she laughed because we
No.
had just watched that movie with "Will you shut the fuck up?"
I'm not a Friday the 13th person. It's on my
I
list.
watch them all. Like I'd say out of all of the big three, Nightmare might be my third in that
Mhm.
list. Like, there's certain Nightmare movies I like, but there's that certain point where they just became stupid and comical.
Yeah.
But
It's like another way of enjoying them, I think, though.
yeah, my mom loved Hellraiser, so that was her series.
Oh, really? I feel like I don't know
Yeah.
anybody that loves past, like, the second one.
Oh, all right, let me rephrase that. My mom really liked Pinhead.
Cool.
So
I
that was
mean,
her thing. That was her character. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, especially part 2, was like one of her favorites because she loved Chop Top.
nice. Yeah, 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 yeah. He's a great addition.
Yeah. So those were like two. And we used to watch the first one during dinner, and she would constantly start imitating Franklin.
Oh my goodness. Your mom sounds cool.
She was. But yeah, she hated Franklin. She'd just sit there and like make fun of him and imitate him. And
Oh
then
my
famously, I've
god.
told the story, the 1979 Salem's Lot. We watched the TV
Oh,
movie
really?
one night, and she went out to my window and started
Oh
scratching on it after I went to bed. And she was
no.
going, "Danny, let me in."
That's amazing.
Freaked me the fuck out. And then, like, I
Props to
couldn't
your
sleep
mom.
for a day. Like, I could not sleep because she scared the shit out of me. So then
I absolutely love that.
she had to deal with it after that of like insomniac me, like, I can't sleep.
Probably regretted it after that. And yeah, that's like
Probably.
I think I told you my mom was like a big Stephen King fan while I was growing up, but my dad didn't know like anything about it. So, because I think we talked about this in my other chat that we had, but that was so long ago. Uh, yeah, my friend brought over it from Blockbuster, so it didn't have the cover or anything on it. You would think my dad would have gone and looked at the rating or something, but yeah, he was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Because my friend was like, "Oh, it's a clown movie." He's like, "Okay." And then yeah, we like me and my brothers were like sleeping in my parents' bed for like 3 weeks. My mom was so mad. She was like, "Why would you let them watch that?"
I remember when the first Child's Play came out. That was like another one that like I probably shouldn't have been laughing as hard as I was. And that part where was it Ellen Burstyn? Can't
Catherine,
remember
the mom,
the mom. Yeah,
Catherine Hicks. Yeah.
that part where she picks up Chucky and she's like waving, and his head turns around. You bitch! You fucking bitch! You gotta put your hands on me. So on someone made a reel of it, the Spanish version of it, and
Oh yeah.
it sounds like Sylvester Stallone yelling at her in
But
Spanish.
he's not even saying, okay, so I can understand Spanish and I can't remember like now off the top of my head, but it was definitely like the one that was circulating on the internet, I don't think was like the actual dub for that film because he says something about like you share fucking memes all day or something like that. And I was like, and so many people sent it to me. They were like, "Isn't that funny?" And I was like, "It is funny. It's very funny." But I'm like 99% sure that's not the dub that they did for that film.
So
But
what
it
got
is
me
funny.
was just that the person said, I started imagining Sylvester Stallone as the voice of Chucky. I'm your friend to the end. I do.
That's so good. I love it.
It's
Yeah.
just
I can't like it is funny to look back on Child's Play because I do remember I don't think I watched the first one until I was probably like 12 or 13 or something like that. So, but so that was in like 2001 or 2002. So like for years and years and years I had seen the trailers or whatever commercials about it and I genuinely like growing up before I'd seen it like thought it was going to be so scary. Right? You're like, "Oh my god, that must be terrifying." And then you're watching it and you're like, I don't really understand at what point this is. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Where you're just like, oh, this is not like
a little
gonna,
overrated.
yeah.
And then the
It's
cop, I'm like,
scare factor wise, yes.
yeah, and then the cop, I'm like, hey, wait, it's the guy from Fright Night, the neighbor, Jerry Dandridge. Wait, that's Prince Humperdinck from the um uh Princess oh my god, why am I Princess
Princess
Bride.
Margaret. Oh,
The
right, yeah. I don't remember those people, honestly, off the top of my head.
Oh man. So another movie that was a horror movie that started doing humor was Phantasm. Phantasm 2 is
Oh, I watched that in high school. I don't really remember that much about it, but I remember I did really like it because that's like who's
the
the director of that one? I forget.
Coscarelli,
This
or
I
that's the
feel like,
writer, Don Coscarelli.
yeah, I feel like I had watched like another movie by him, and I really hold on. Now I want to like look it up. I'm so dependent on the phone to like remember things. It's horrible.
Oh, it's the
But
best part of my every one of my streams where I have let me go to IMDb real fast.
yeah, Don Coscarelli. I feel like I had watched another movie by him that I liked, and I was like, I gotta revisit Phantasm.
Bubba Hotep. John dies at the end.
Gotta love that. Okay, no, it wasn't. Oh, it wasn't that. But oh, you know what? Because I had added that one. Yeah, I had wanted to watch Bubba Hotep because I really love Bruce Campbell. And then I was like looking around at the other movies he did, but that director, I mean. But yeah, okay. I really want to rewatch that one. I don't remember it being funny. I remember feeling
Part
like it
two.
was serious.
Part two had so Reggie the ice cream man slash try to make a badass out of him is humorous to me because he's such a schlup. Which
Mhm.
sadly the guy who plays Reggie is in in hospice right now,
Oh,
uh, ready to pass away. Don Coscarelli was also responsible for one of the most homoerotic sword and sorcery movies ever, Beastmaster.
Beastmaster.
Yes, there
Sounds
were
very
leather daddies, and some ferret pets.
leather dad. Oh yeah, I would love to watch
Um,
that.
quite a movie. And the father from Good Times, playing a
Oh, I never
barbarian.
saw that show. Hold on,
Oh,
I'm looking up because I'm so bad at like thinking of things off the top of my head. But I don't want to like be walking down the street one day and be like, "Oh, I should have brought up this movie on your show." Because that's gonna happen for sure. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I should have said that movie. I should have said that movie." Um, yeah, there's so many good ones. Child's Play 3 cracked me up, even though I didn't really like enjoy it.
was that the one at the military academy, or was that part
Mhm.
two? Okay,
No,
yeah,
that was part 3.
yeah, that one was. That's where they were just like, you know what? Let's just stop trying to make this
Mhm.
not funny because this is where we're at.
Yeah, also, like, speaking of sequels too, I feel like, in the Halloween movies as well, like, the later it gets, the more comical well, I mean, Dr. Loomis, I feel like, was comical in all of them to some
Oh,
extent, but I
because
feel
he
like
was
as they
drunk.
go on yeah. Is that why?
Oh yeah, apparently like Danielle Harris was like, yeah, I learned later that the smell I kept smelling on him was bourbon.
Amazing. I mean, hey,
Makes sense.
I love that for him. Yeah,
Um,
I thought he was very funny throughout.
oh, you know what? I just thought of a glib, funny movie that's a horror movie and also sci-fi. Night of the Creeps, starring the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Atkins.
Ah, I never saw that.
Oh my
Tom
god.
Atkins is in it now? I like him.
Yeah. Oh, I just love that he's old, has a Tom Selleck mustache, and every movie, every woman wants him.
I mean, I don't find him to be conventionally attractive, but like, yeah, in Season of the Witch, I was like, I kind of get it.
I love that he is
I
drunk
don't know why.
constantly. And then there's that scene with it's getting late and I can use a drink. Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chelsea? Well, that's a stupid question. And next thing you know, he's sucking on her boob while his wife in real life and dying, getting blasted in the mouth by um, apparently witchcraft that makes portal with bugs coming out of you.
I just remember being like, I feel like something is going to happen between them, but maybe he's too old for her. And then it just happened anyway. And I was like, all right. I was like, whatever. I guess it's cool.
And then
Yeah, he like
right
slid
before
on
that
up in
was
there.
right before that was the fog where he was like, "Hi, hitchhiker Jamie Lee Curtis. There has to be a fog
Never.
rolling in. I'm going to take you home and take you to Pound Town. What about it? Who's that
That would
knocking
not
on my
fly
door?
today. That would
Hmm?
not fly today. Do you think? Do you
Oh,
think
no.
something like that would have like been okay back at that time in real life?
I don't know, because there were so many "Don't get into strangers' cars" commercials, and that was just like as a kid. Maybe
That's
for
true.
adults, they're like, "Well, you're an adult now. Get into every stranger's car." I don't know.
Yeah, and like we literally do that all the time with Uber and all that.
That's like a show in itself of like stranger danger during the '80s in horror movies. That we're just
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Hey,
Do you
mystery
know where
guy that
your
just
children
picked me
are?
up."
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? I still remember that.
I did that to one of my bosses. He gave me his. He's like, "Call me anytime." So I text him. I was like, "Hey, it's 2 a.m. Do you know where I am right now?"
I
That was
just had this memory of like my mom. So like at like age 6, this is like the most terrifying thing you can hear. And she did such a good job of like fucking scaring the shit out of me. And I don't think it was a real story because she was trying to teach me about stranger danger. So she was like, the other day, this other girl on our street went to her mom because they saw someone in their car pull up to the park. It was a man, and the man looked at her and he just went, and he was going to try to steal her. And I just remember the way my mom went like to like imitate him. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I was like, I'll never talk to a stranger.
Because there was that one commercial where the guy's like, "Hey, I got some candy in my car. Why don't you get in here?" That was like a commercial when I lived in New York, and I was just like, "Oh my God."
They love to like freak us out. That they really made us feel like there was somebody going to be doing that like every day of our
So there
lives.
was
Like, we
the
just
there
gonna
was the
flip
year where
that.
there was the panic about razor blades being in candy
Oh yeah,
and drugs. So
that resurfaces all the time too.
we trick or treated one year, and we had to take it to an X-ray station to X-ray our candy.
Where in New York did you live? I forget.
Long Island.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I feel like there was something about I don't know because I don't know like have anything else to compare it to, but like I grew up on Staten Island, and yeah, they like I guess it was the whole like, Manhattan and the rest of the boroughs or whatever. But Manhattan always comes to mind because I always think like how my mom would say, "Oh, don't go to 42nd Street." And I'm like, "Mom, this is like when I was like a teenager." So I was like, "Mom, there's like McDonald's and a wax museum there now. It's not the same." And like I feel like
Yeah,
our
because
parents
Times
just,
Square used to be like real
yeah, it
like
used to be a
dangerous.
shithole. I
Yeah.
get it. The crime was real. The
And the
terror.
Rockefeller law got put into effect, and that ended a lot of that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't understand, like, why. Like, I think it's very embedded in our parents' like frame of mind about New York. It's like, oh, it's so scary, and like we grew up kind of like getting that projected on us in a way. My
So I
mom
think
still won't get in the subway. She'll like
I
go to New
think
York all the time.
I
Won't say
think
so.
the '80s in particular drove a lot of us to horror because our parents were just like, if you go outside, you can get kidnapped.
Yeah. Oh
This
my
can
God.
happen. You can
All the
get
time.
poisoned. The ice cream man might be a diddler, could kidnap you. And like,
Mhm.
you ever hear about not John Wayne Gacy? Well, John Wayne Gacy was a story that went around too. Like, you ever hear about the killer clown?
Yeah.
And
Every adult is clearly gonna kill us.
yeah, I just remember like all these like stories, and I was like, well, of course I'm gonna watch horror movies because this shit's less disturbing than what's going on out there, according to you.
Right, yeah, exactly. A possessed doll, no problem.
Yeah.
It's
What's
gonna
what's
nothing's
a
gonna
little voodoo gonna do to me? There's a nuclear war gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly, right? We're all gonna die anyway. Oh, man.
Oh my god, there's like things what to do in case of a nuclear war. Crawl under your desk. I was like, that ain't gonna do shit.
Oh, yeah, they used to make us go in the basement of the school and, like, put your
Yes.
hands over your head, and I'd be like, "Why are we doing this?" Like,
if
I'd be
we're
like, "I don't get it. My hands are not gonna protect my head." Like, it's
if we're to this point, we're gonna die. Like that's where we're at.
I can't I will say, though, I'm glad that, like, I was so young and like you don't really get it at the time, because if I was like 15 and 16 having to do that, it would kind of like fuck me up. I'd be like, oh my God, am I gonna like die with my friends and my teachers and the bully,
No.
like the school bully
Yeah,
next
now
to
you
me?
have active shooter drills.
Well,
It's
actually, in high school, we had my high school for some reason had like a problem with shooter things. Like we used to get a lot of threats and
ow.
evacuated, lockdown for like 2 years. It was like some weird problem we had. We used to, they would, the bus driver one time was like driving us to school and they got a call saying, oh, we had a bomb threat or something. So they had to like drop, like, I don't know why they didn't just bring us home, but they dropped us off in the park next to the school and they were like, just wait here until the SWAT team leaves. So weird. This was in New Jersey, by the way, not in New York, but yeah,
That makes sense. That
it was
checks
a
out.
bizarre time.
That sounds like a Jersey Philly thing. Of like, you're close enough, but far enough. Yeah, you're fine.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it was just weird. It was a weird time. I don't think it ever
Go get a
happens again, too.
Go get a sandwich and some cannolis, and just take a break.
Forget about it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
get a Taylor
We
egg and ham
evacuated
cheese.
you.
Get a Taylor egg and ham sandwich, and just have some breakfast.
Taylor Ham, you used the correct words. Good job. So
Yeah.
I argue with my boyfriend Alex. He's from South Jersey, and he's like, "It's not called Taylor Ham." And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I can't stand sauce being called gravy. I hate it.
Me too. Okay. So one of my dad's cousins who he grew up with, they're all from Brooklyn. And for some reason she says gravy, but she's the only one. Like in my entire life, my entire like very Italian family never said gravy.
I can't
And
stand it. And I thought that
yeah.
it was like a South Jersey, Philly thing because that's usually where I heard it. My mom was from Brooklyn and called it sauce.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So did mine. I thought I was made to feel like I was the only one, but I'm like, no, like I even had like
And
friends
my
that
very
also didn't call it gravy.
my very Sicilian family on
Mhm.
my dad's side never called it gravy. It was sauce.
Yeah, like when I think of gravy, I think of the brown stuff from Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
So, right?
yeah.
It's like Sunday sauce. Well, I guess some people say Sunday gravy, but
Sunday gravy,
I'm with
which
it. That's what
now
I'm
I hear it,
thinking.
I'm like, go fuck yourself. And they're like, wow, why? I
Mhm.
was like, it's sauce. You call it sauce. It's tomato sauce.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not that complicated. I feel like gravy, it just has like a weird it just has like a weird vibe. I don't know.
Well,
I
like
wouldn't call it gravy.
living in Florida, I have not heard the word gabagool in a long time. Nor have
Yeah.
I heard squingeely.
I never heard squingeely. What's that?
It's some kind of seafood thing that my grandmother used to make. I don't know exactly what the fuck it
Oh,
was, and I didn't want to
like the
know.
octopus?
I
Is it the
think
little
so, or
octopus
squid
with
or something like
spikes?
that.
Oh, I love that, like calamari, but like or calamari, whatever. Uh, but the not fried.
Because I think it was like squingeely with clam sauce.
Oh, that's so good. I, I'm craving it so bad. They don't really have like
Squingeely.
squingeely.
It's sliced conch.
What? I don't even know
Yes.
that. I don't even.
It's the
But
meat of the conch shell.
oh my God, I love it. I
Yeah.
love seafood.
So now I know what I just remember. Like I'd look at it and be like, I don't know what that is. I'm not touching it because they fooled me one time having cow brains.
I would try it. I like to try things, but I will say, yeah, like my aunt would make like seafood salad a lot, and they would put I'm so sorry, I don't know like what they're actually called, but the little octopuses, the like purple, they're like pinkish purple colored ones. And oh my God, they really used to freak me out, like looking at them, but they taste really good. So that kind of like got me the courage to eat other things besides that. But
Fried baby octopus.
hers wouldn't be fried. They'd be like steamed and then like cooled into like a cold salad type deal. So good. I'm really craving it. Darn it. I'm starving. I gotta go in a second, actually, because
Yeah, no, it's
I gotta get my
funny
kid.
because it's weird going into like, well, this is our Jersey, New York food experience, and
Did we
growing
talk
up
about
in,
this last time too? I don't remember.
I
I
don't know,
vaguely remember.
growing up in fear in the '80s and how it probably got us ready for horror. But
Oh
I
yeah,
was,
they had like the Son of Sam murders too at the
oh,
time.
there
I
was the
remember.
TV movie, and we laughed at it where he's like, bark, 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 bark. That's all I hear all night. Bark, 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 bark. That was the Son of Sam movie. That's my big highlight of that movie that I remember. I was like, what
Did it
the?
like really freak you out when you were little?
No, we laughed.
Oh, okay.
It was the TV movie of it, and the actor is like chewing the cereal. Bark, 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 bark. That's all I hear all night. It's the dogs barking. And it was like, so that's what made you kill people. You heard the dogs barking.
Obviously. Well, yeah, because if it was made in, what was it made in like the 80s or the 90s?
Yeah, '80s.
There was no like, oh, of course, killers they just kill to kill. There's no
My
psychology whatsoever.
favorite my favorite serial thing when I just was leaving New York, there was a guy running around the city called the Dart Man, and he was shooting people in the ass with darts. They caught him trying to walk to Canada.
Smart.
And then there was the two fake Zodiac killers at one point that were imposters, so that was fun.
That stuff scares me more than horror.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
not really a crime person. Yeah, I get like a little freaked out. I went to the Manson Spawn
Ranch.
which was cool. Like it was cool to learn about because I was like actually there, and like I was like, all right, this is cool. It's like real. Like it was like a little freaky, but if I like, and like also I guess that's different though because that was like a cult thing, and like there's a whole, I don't know, that scares me less than like a lone serial killer.
Some of the great interviews though with him where he's like, I didn't kill nobody. And then like 2 seconds later, you know what? Maybe my greatest sin is I didn't kill enough people. It's like, you know what? Never mind.
He was
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I read his whole like life story or whatever at some point, and I was like, damn, he was just never gonna.
If the Beach Boys had just given him a good critique, it's all Dennis Wilson's fault.
I do love the Beach Boys so much, and then when I found that out, I was like, damn, what a bunch of dumbasses. No, I'm just kidding.
But
no, I think the list of them.
We're gonna end this. Thank you everybody who joined us live, and for anybody who comes in later, let us know what you thought about the monkey. I do think this is one I'm going to readdress later and see if, with expectations lowered, if I'm going to enjoy it more because I know what's coming. I will forever enjoy Adam Scott at the beginning.
For sure. I would just rewatch it again because Hal was so hot, honestly. From the female perspective, I was just like, okay. I knew he was British, though. I meant to say that before. That was the only gripe I had with him. I was like, bro, I could tell you're British. But anyway.
There was not one attractive female in the movie.
Yeah.
I did not see
I don't
one.
know.
Even the mother, I was like, I probably would have walked out too, but I would have taken the kid. I wouldn't have just been like, I'll see you next year for a week. Bye.
It's the stupidest part. Yeah, if you could overlook that part and the obnoxious like amount of too much humor, it was okay.
But at the end, they became a family again. I did want an after credit scene to see if like Elijah Wood was still alive.
Oh yeah, they should have definitely followed up on him. I would have loved to have seen that.
Like I was curious about because that would be funny going back to the house and there's a plane in there.
Oh, you also have to look out for if somebody says something like the monkey.
I will be looking for that because now
look out for it.
it's going to be a rabbit hole. I'll just post it on an Instagram story and tag you in it.
Movie or like quotes where a man says the monkey with an accent.
Yes.
That's what you have to look up.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
That's fun.
Yes, it was.
See you next time.